Alright folks, my name's Freyn, and today we're going to be once more covering the Char B1 Biz. Now this was a while ago given a down tier to 2.0, and as a result it is absolutely ridiculous now. It was already a pretty good tank, but given that the minimum BR that any battle could take place at is 2.0, then this is going to see a lot of down tiers, because it's got to have something put in to fill out those 2.0 slots in all the reserve games. But we're here now with a double feature on Eastern Europe. I'm just going to show just how silly it can be. So, the first target is spotted. It's just over the water there. And there's only a thin gap, so I can't really afford to wait and see if he crosses, then go into scope. So I've put the scope on straight away and aimed up, but this restricts my field of view quite heavily. It turns out he isn't going that way, so I waited a little bit, take the scope off to have a check, make sure he's not driven past somewhere, and just noticed him as he fires. But an angled B1 is a pretty damn tough target. There's not much, especially in a full down tier, that is going to be able to get through it. So just waiting for him to re-emerge and see if we can get rid of him. I don't really want him going around in the back of our team. There he goes. Just a Hargo. I do have two guns, but I don't want to spend a while there turning my tank around, just on the off chance something does push along the waterline. So I'll finish him off with the turret gun. Slowly bring the turret back around and let's advance. Something else firing from over the water. Big giveaway from all the smoke there. There's a huge amount of smoke, even from these low caliber guns. Stuart hasn't noticed me, thankfully, so spin, get the whole gun to take out his engine, finish him with the turret. You can use the two guns to fire at different targets. It's a bit awkward due to how little traverse the whole gun has, so I tend to use them as just a way to increase my rate of fire. At most, I will kill one tank and then turn to another with the second gun. I'm very rarely, if ever, engaging two living targets at once and sort of alternating between them. It's focus down one until it's dead, and then use the second gun to just get a quicker reload, essentially. They've got similar penetration capabilities. It's just all about the traverse limitations as to why you can't quickly fire them both at one. So that's the B cap cleared, and let's move forwards. There's nothing really to fear here, so I'm quite confident just driving straight down the road. I'm not invulnerable, I can be penned, but it's unlikely that I'm going to be dying. There goes one crew member through the turret ring, I'm assuming, from this LVT. So aim up with the whole gun. Not quite as much damage as I'd hope, but my gun is just about back, so we'll switch to the turret. Finish him off. I do have a broken machine gun here. I'm not really stopping to repair it because it's not something I expect to get a huge use out of. So instead, I'm just going to push onto the C point and get this game over with. This vehicle can almost just press forwards. Don't really have to worry about too much. There's another LVT in the side. So get the turret round, take out his gunner first, swap to the hull, take out his transmission. Here I do wish I had the machine gun repaired, as I can't just take out that final crew member in the back there. Instead, it's wait for a crew member to come back in his gunner slot, and we'll finish him off that way. But cap the C point, and just knock out this AA in the distance, and the game's pretty much wrapped up at this stage. I was a bit hesitant as to whether to make this video today, I have to say. They're good games, they certainly show the tank, but lately I've been steering away from just covering tanks and going more to covering specific battles, battles which were very interesting or very enjoyable for me, and this doesn't quite fit that bill. but I've chosen to do it in the end simply because, despite having covered this tank before, the down-tiering that it's received has made it absolutely ridiculous, and I just wanted to show how silly it gets. You can probably tell from the little donation bar left on my screen in the corner that I was playing these games on stream as well, so I'm not as focused as I could be otherwise, and yet still, okay, sure, I'm fighting a lot of newer players here, but yeah, this tank is just, it's almost idiot proof at this stage. I don't think it deserved a down tier at all. I think it was working perfectly fine where it was. Although I'm still scuffing a few shots with that hull gun due to how little traverse it's got. But it is crazy how much fire this can take and how much pain it can put out. Got a fairly slow rate of fire with both of its guns, even alternating between them you're still likely to be firing slower than the opponents. But they aren't really likely to hurt you while you're on that reload, so it doesn't matter too much. It's M2 medium backing up once he realised he's not going to pen me easily. He can pen me in certain spots. I've already been shot in one of them this game, but yeah, it requires a lot more effort for him to hit them than it does for me to simply charge him down and take him out. That's kill number 10, and nothing really else happens in this game, just a bit of backtracking to go retake the B point, so we'll move on to game number 2. Again, another full down tier, same map. These were actually back-to-back games, and there was a third one as well in the exact same situation, which I didn't record, but same plan again. Move up towards the B point, swing out onto the water. Already picked up a kill there from someone who tried to charge straight in and didn't use any of the cover. It's solid shot only on the turret gun, but it's still pretty damn effective. There goes the second Tetrarch, so take him out. The third one round here, I was thinking finally a chance to use both guns, but unfortunately the hull gun is mounted so low down that it can't actually shoot over that bit of wall properly. But doesn't matter, the turret's reloaded. That's 3 kills, and yeah, let's follow the same plan as last time. We'll swing out onto the water. There's 2 over there that I can see. There goes 1. Now let's try and find the other. Constantly swapping back and forth between the scopes here, trying to make use of both guns. Doesn't always go fantastically. Like this one here, tried to bring the hull gun round, but it's got such a narrow traverse, and I was still moving, that I ended up hitting that little stone sphere on the side of the water and doing nothing. But the Tetrarch wasn't going anywhere, so no real worries with that. And he's down, and we can continue to push up. Right into the back of this A13. Let's get over this little bump, bring the gun depression down, and take out the M3 with the hull gun. The kills have racked up really quickly this game. It's already at 7, and we've only just made it to the B point. But as before, just press on. There's really nothing to the B1 on this map. You can almost just hold forwards and occasionally twist yourself. It's such a strong tank now. I mean, as I said before, I think it already was. The video I did on it previously was more focused on just that particular battle and sort of the challenge that it went through to get the win. But now that it's been down-tiered even further and it's sitting at 2.0, it's just getting silly. I mean, here we have a Hargo, one of the Japanese reserves, who you will see very often, and he can't really do anything to me. I'm surprised how many shots he took to die, but it was inevitable he was going to die. Some maps it doesn't function quite so well, you're more likely to get flanked. Certainly not a tank I have found great success with on Maginot Line, despite my liking that map, but something like this, it's gonna put real pain on the enemy. So knock out the drive on this A13, bring the whole gun around. Somehow not quite finish him off. There we are, someone has finally shot at my turret ring. That's the main weak point on this tank. But I've still got 2 guns, so you can knock out the turret gun. It's not really going to stop me. Best way of eliminating the tank as a problem is try and get its mobility down and then get around the side, because it's got a very, very slow turret traverse. If you find it and you're not already on its side to go for the mobility, then turret ring is probably your best bet. Occasionally the driver's port, and then that's when you try and run around the side, when it can no longer turn its turret to you, because its hull traverse is a bit limited as well. Tetrarch had kind of the right idea there, but with me being close to him and right on the corner, he had to cross in front of my gun, so it wasn't going to work out in the end. But again, this has just been a very no-effort stomp, really. Fighting new players, or not necessarily new players, there's plenty of experienced ones down in Tier 1. A lot more than you would actually expect at this BR, but either way, fighting players at this BR certainly not going to be as challenging. But honestly, at this stage, I'm putting in barely any effort. This is entirely the tank that is just dragging me through this. It's just silly. I'm a fairly small channel, so I don't think I'm going to be having a huge impact on how the game's going to go. It's not like suddenly you're going to see hordes of Char B1s rolling around at Tier 1, ruining the game as a result of this video. But I would recommend, if you're starting to grind the French tree, head for this first. It's going to be the first real contender tank for the French, and it will make your life a lot easier. And if a lot of people do start playing it, then it might not be such a problem, as it might start to get up-tiered a bit more. So I'm not too panicky over the impact this video will have, but I certainly recommend it, and recommend it before, hopefully, Gaijin realise what a stupid decision it was to put it at this BR. It takes a very long time for battle ranging changes to occur at this tier, in my opinion, because there's so few people playing it. They don't really get a lot of data to adjust it from, and it slows things down a lot. So I wouldn't expect it to change anytime soon. That just about wraps it up for today. Again, 2 not hugely interesting battles. I just wanted to show the power behind this tank. And I will leave you there. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.